The Beatles. The name alone evokes many ideas. Kevin Dong and Rueben Tschetter now, with a story about how one person has turned his love of the legendary band into a course and a way of looking at the world.
They've sold more records than the populations of most countries. They have been played, replayed, featured, criticized, satirized, parodied, and honored the world over. In short, they are the world's most influential band. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles. The Beatles' influence, even today, is extremely far-reaching. Just ask James Istvanffy, an instructor in the University of Calgary's Faculty of Continuing Education.
I think people will be listening to the Beatles 100 years from now, maybe 1,000 years from now, and saying, wow, like that's an incredible sound that these guys made.
Istvanffy teaches a comprehensive course on the Beatles, analyzing their music, their history, and their influence. However, not only is he an instructor, he's also a Beatlemaniac.
Because I was born in the early 1960s, but I don't ever remember a world without the Beatles. First off, I wanted to collect all their albums and learn all the songs and learn all the words to all the songs. And I certainly, from an early age, started studying, what's this about?
Even today, 5 decades after they first started making music, the Beatles remain popular not only amongst the original Beatlemaniacs, but also with young audiences.
We have people who are significantly older than I am, people in their 60s who've taken the course, people in their 40s, people in their 30s. We have a 19-year-old taking the course. So we have a huge age range.
However, even though his students of all ages are united in their appreciation of the Beatles, Istvanffy knows that the Beatles are just as much about division as they are about unity.
Yeah, actually, it's interesting to ask, because I often ask students in the course, would the Beatles have been as good? Would they have been better without drugs? Or would they have been not as good without drugs? It's very revealing about the students, how they answer that kind of question.
To Istvanffy, it is this uncertainty which makes studying and teaching about the Beatles so enjoyable.
It's art, so it's up to interpretation. Many people can interpret things differently, and just because I have an interpretation doesn't mean it's the right one, any more than John Lennon's interpretation of what Paul McCartney wrote or Paul McCartney's interpretation of John Lennon is necessarily right.
Perhaps that is why the Beatles are so popular. So, how universal does Istvanffy think they are?
I love the Beatles. I think anybody that really loves should study the Beatles' music.
Perhaps it is only across the universe. For NUTV, this is Kevin Dong reporting for Rueben Tschetter.